Good morning, everyone. I think it's 5 minutes over 10:30, so we'll just start as we were still waiting for people to join in. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Floris, for being with us here today and
As well.
tell us something about BDeals. Thank you for the other people, Carolina, Tatjana, as well for tuning in. And welcome to our second webinar in our webinar series about the B Corp journey. I would like to add, this video is being recorded. The webinar is being recorded and available on the website, and will be sent to you via email as well. I'm joined today by Josephine, and hi Josephine, and my name is Gijs, the project manager for Move to Impact. And our goal with Move to Impact is to generate a more positive impact, or create more positive impact through practical tools for our clients, and support our clients in becoming a B Corp. Josephine, would you like to introduce yourself also a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Hi there. So I'm also helping out with these B Corp webinars. And my role is also to guide clients through the B Corp certification process. We work to organize these webinars, write different white papers. We're also in the process of developing a program which can help automate consulting and make the process easier and more step-by-step that you can do on your own. And today I'll just be helping out with any of the questions in the chat. I'll also be dropping some links down based on different topics that we cover. But yeah, here to answer any of your questions as well.
Thank you. Okay, Floris, if you'd like to share your screen and start the presentation.
Yes, thank you, guys. Yes, I will share my screen, but first I will introduce myself. So my name is Floris. I'm from Rotterdam. I study at the Erasmus University. And last year I started BDeals together with another student, and I will tell you more about what we do, why we started, and of course our B Corp journey using my presentations. I will first share my screen right now. Let's see. Yes. So can you all see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so BDeals, I started BDeals together with another student, Jonas. He couldn't be here today, unfortunately. I'm currently studying at the Erasmus University, and Jonas just graduated, so he's already working full-time. During our studies, we both had at first a shared passion for sustainability. And later on, we became familiar with the B Corp community, and we're both very enthusiastic about that. And also, we had a great interest in entrepreneurship. So we always had like different ideas for companies, and we just went out and talked to people, and most of these ideas were focused on the B Corp community. So, for instance, we had an idea for a loyalty program in grocery stores where people could collect points and then, well, get discounts on B Corp products. But when we talk to people, we always notice how relatively unknown the B Corp community was. So in the business world, a lot of people were like, "What is B Corp?" So that's in our eyes, that was a bit of a shame. And at the same time, during our studies, we also did internships, and we received gifts, which were, it's very nice to receive a gift, of course, and it's a great gesture, but it's the gifts itself were always kind of useless. So you received it, and then you you thought like, that's nice, and then you threw it away. So it's which is very which is not a good thing, of course. So those two things combined, the relatively unknown B Corp community and the standard and dual gifts were a reason for us to start BDeals. So what do we do? our mission is to promote B Corp products through corporate gifts. So we work together with 25 B Corps now, and we put their products together in gift boxes. So we have smaller gift boxes for like if you want to celebrate it, something small. But we also have these big custom products. So you can think of a water bottle or a secret card holder. So more like a luxury product which companies can brand. So a lot of different things. Also Christmas boxes, of course. Yeah, in the slide you can see an example of one of our boxes. So yeah, that's basically what we do. And in all of these boxes, we also add a flyer with information on all products. So it's not that's also why our slogan is "Gifts with a Mission." So we want to emphasize the mission behind the products. So for Tony Chocolonely, of course, the slavery aspect, for farm builders, the soil, all these missions, we want to emphasize them, so people who receive the gift not only enjoy the products, but also get familiar with what these companies do. Yeah, so that's basically what BDeals is. And yeah, let's move on to the B Corp journey. So first, why B Corp? I think besides so a lot of people think that it's just a sustainability certificate, but it's way more than that. So it's I think the most important aspect of B Corp is the community. It's very community focused. So that means that there's a lot of collaboration. The companies really motivating each other and helping each other. So it's if you join the community, you will notice that there's a lot of help and support from other companies, which really yeah, that gives a lot of opportunities, of course, for your own company, and it helps discovering new ideas. And besides the community, I think the impact assessment tool that you, or maybe the test, I would call it the test for now, which you need to pass to receive a B Corp certification, is also a very good tool to measure impact. So I think a lot of companies also use it to improve themselves. So also if you're maybe not that you maybe don't score high enough yet to become a B Corp, it's still very useful to see where you can improve, because you're testing a lot of different teams, like for instance governance or environment, customers. So these, you can, on every team you can see where you can improve. And then yeah, of course the ultimate goal is to become a B Corp, but I think it's also very useful if you just want to improve your impact. Yeah, let's talk about the B Corp journey of BDeals then, and the lessons we've learned. So our first step was becoming a pending B Corp, which is relatively easy actually. It's a status for startups, and the goal behind this is that because if you just started a company, of course a lot of things are still developing inside your company. So you don't, a lot of stuff that mature companies already have, like governance codes and all that kind of stuff, you don't have as a startup. You're discovering what the market and what works for you. So it's almost impossible if you just started to already get all these points, because you need to it's for a startup that's very difficult. So that's why they designed the pending B Corp certificate, and it's the goal behind this is that startups can signal that they stand behind the B Corp principles, and also are aiming to become one as well. Because it's focused, it's made for startups, it's also only for companies that's been in operation for less than 1 year. And the only requirement is to fulfill the legal requirement of B Corp, which means that you need to make a few statutory amendments. So you need to, in your statutes, you need to state that not only you're not only creating value for the shareholders, but also for all the other stakeholders, so for community, for the environment, so that in every decision that you make, you keep that in mind as well, which is opposed to the old-fashioned way of thinking that you should only create value for your shareholders. And yeah, after you've done the amendment, you submit the BIA, and then it will take approximately 6 weeks. At least that was in our case, but that's already 9 months ago. So it could be that changed, because I think, as you all know, there are a lot of companies who want to become B Corp. And then you pay a one-time fee of €500, and that's basically it. Then you are pending B Corp. But if you're pending B Corp, you have 1 year to become a B Corp. So it's not that you become pending B Corp and then say like it's good for now, and we'll take a look at it later again, because the BIA takes a lot of work as well. So the B impact assessment. So the B impact assessment, I think most of you are already familiar with it, but it's a free online tool. You can access it by using this link, or if you just Google B impact assessment, you will find it as well. So as I already said, it consists of 5 themes: governance, workers, community, environment, and customers. Yeah, and these you can score on every theme, and the minimum required amount of points is 80. So if you score 80 points, then you can submit it, and they will take it into account, and you will get an analyst within 5 months who will guide the process from there. Yeah, so it's in the next slide I will provide some advices that I can give you on this. So this is with BDeals, we submitted the BIA last summer. So this is where we actually currently are. We just submitted the BIA, and now we're in the waiting period, so which can take up to 5 months. For smaller companies, it's usually a bit shorter. Yeah, so these are actually the basics about the BIA. So it's the minimum required amount of points, and the submitting fee is 250, and then the yearly fee is dependent on revenues. Yeah, so our advice is first that once you registered on the B impact assessment tool, you will already receive emails from B Lab, like information sessions, information emails, and especially after you became pending B Corp, you will also get invitations to information sessions. And I would recommend to join those, because they give some really useful advice on how to fill in the B impact assessment and how you can improve your score. And I think it's a bit harder than most people think to score 80 points. It's still that there was some there was some critical news last summer about that it was maybe too easy to become a B Corp, and because a few multinationals became B Corp, and that well, I think you all saw it, but I think it's still pretty hard. Yeah, there's a lot of work in it, and you need to really make a few changes in your company yeah, which are especially for bigger companies pretty hard to do. So, and that's a good thing, because then they really make a commitment to the ultimate goal, of course. So that would be my first advice, to join those sessions. Besides that, what I told at the beginning was that it's really community focused. So B Corps are very enthusiastic about the movement, and are really really like to help other companies also. So that so if you ask, what I noticed is that if I reached out to an existing B Corp, they usually were very helpful and open to for a call and to help us. So that's also something I would recommend, on just approach different B Corps and ask them for help. And when making the assessment itself, then there are two things that I would recommend, and I think those are really important, especially for startups, because as I already said, startups usually have a lot of things. They're still, they're in the discovery phase. So a lot of things that a normal company has, a startup doesn't have. So I think when you're answering the questions, you should also, for instance, if they ask about the governance code, I would recommend not only if you think like, oh, no, I don't have it, you should not immediately fill in no. You can also think like, this governance code, I can write it, and there's a waiting time, so there's enough space to still create some things that you don't have yet. And that's also the goal of the impact assessment, is to, it's basically a tool for companies to improve. And that is, so after you filled in the questions, you can write down everything that you still need to create, but you can already fill that in. So you can do that in the waiting time, because otherwise, well, it will take way longer, because then you have like now you can put the time that you need to create it, you can put that in the waiting time, and otherwise it will it will of course take a bit longer. So I would recommend that. The waiting time is pretty long, so you can do a lot of things in the meantime. And also in the BIA, you have the improvement report. It's if you open the tool, you can see on the left, improvement report. And after you filled in the questions, the improvement report is actually a tool which shows you where you can improve. So they see that you filled in one question where you gave an answer that would make them think that also on another question you also would have that. But then, so maybe because it's a pretty long tool, or a big tool with a lot of questions, you maybe like forget sometimes that you filled in wrong, and the improvement report looks like, okay, hey, this doesn't make sense that they filled in this question very positive, and that question they say they don't have anything. So they check on that, and then they make suggestions like, hey, maybe you can improve on this, because if you, so that's that's also something I would definitely recommend. Yeah, so that was actually what I've learned from the B Corp journey. So as I already said, we're still waiting. We're in the waiting period. We already submitted the BIA. So the journey we are still waiting for the B Corp certificate, and I'm not I can't tell you really about the what comes next, because I didn't experience it yet, so it would be a bit weird if I would tell you about it. But so that of course I'm open for any questions. And in my last slide, I would like to make use of this to promote our Christmas boxes. So these are our Ho holiday boxes. They're on our website. We have 4 variants from 25 euros until 50 euros, filled with B Corp products only. As I said, you can personalize them with your own, with a personal message and your logo on the books. Yeah, almost everything is possible. So reach out to us, and you all get a 10% discount if you use the code B Corp Christmas. So thank you everybody for listening. Thank you Gijs and Josephine. And yeah, that was it.
Thank you, Floris, for a lovely presentation. And obviously the potential discount for this package. Very good. I wanted actually to go back to the BIA and your experience on answering those questions. So what has been the most challenging for you, and how and where have you found guidance in answering these questions?
Yeah, so what was pretty challenging to me also because I don't have a lot of experience, of course, in the business world yet. So when they ask for a corporate governance code or those kind of things, I knew that I could write those myself, but I wasn't really sure how to do that. And then I just reached out to other B Corps, and they just showed me examples and helped me with that. So I think it was pretty clear to me what the questions aren't really hard, but you should think about what I said, if you can create them easily, or if you can, because if you don't have something yet, you can still create it. So I think, and that creating like, or starting to measure your emissions, those kind of things. Maybe at first it seems hard, and maybe it is as well, but yeah, then you should just reach out to existing B Corps and ask them like, hey, how do you do this? And they can help you. So it's yeah, I think with the help of others and just constantly thinking like, what can I do myself? Then it's pretty yeah, I think it's pretty good actually.
I see Josephine raised her hand. Yeah.
I have a question more related to the pending B Corp, because I'm just trying to understand, what do you really see as the added value to becoming a pending B Corp, and to really like, is it more on the marketing side of things, being able to put that label up there as you're in the process, or what are the other benefits you see to additionally becoming a B Corp, and specifically for a startup crowd?
Well, so it's like the legal requirement, you have to fulfill the legal requirement anyway, also if you want to become a B Corp. So it's just the first step to becoming a B Corp. You already make that step. So I think that's one of the reasons, but yeah, and it's also a signal to the B Corp community itself, like, hey, I want to join the community. And I think that's really important, because then those existing B Corps, they're way more open to help you and to collaborate. So I think that's also a really important aspect. Yeah, of course the marketing as well, but that's, yeah, I think like that's also what was in the newspapers last summer, like companies just use the B Corp certification for their marketing, but I think that's not really true, because if you see the B impact assessment, then you really see that that's a very holistic approach which reviews the whole company. So it's really a commitment that you make. And also those multinationals, they also really make a commitment by making statutory amendments and writing new governance codes. So I think it's really yeah, it's pretty big effort to become a B Corp.
Yeah, and we also have a comment here from Carlina. What do you see the impact of this pending B Corp, or how do you see it on the value of your team? So does it add to a sense of pride and the idea behind the B Corp network? What do you see with that?
Yeah, well, I think that it depends per company, of course, within the team, how people feel about the B Corp community, and it also depends on how the company implements it into their own way of working, of course. But yeah, what I noticed is that within B Corps, usually there's really a lot of engagement with the B Corp certification, and there is a lot of pride, yes, which I think that makes a lot of sense, because in this new world, I would way rather work for a B Corp than a more old-fashioned company. So I think it's a signal also to the outside world, like, hey, we're really trying to make a positive impact, and I think that's something very positive, and also something which creates a lot of pride within a team. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. Is there, okay, so with that in mind as well, is there, I know for a fact we spoke obviously before this webinar once as well. I think you mentioned January to be expected time to be actually certified. With that in mind, are you already taking some next steps in improving your B Corp score or your B impact score, or while you're waiting, or what are practical steps you're currently taking?
Yes, we are. So yeah, we're just of course we're BDeals. We started BDeals 1 year ago, so we're constantly improving the company, and with that also the operations, and for the B impact assessment, that also has an impact on the B impact assessment, of course, because if we, for instance, start measuring our or we change our transportation to a more we have, like, for instance, if we have we first transported our boxes with cars which were gas fueled, and now we deliver them with hybrid vehicles, then it's that also has an impact on the B impact assessment, so we can change that and improve our score. So yeah, that we are still improving, not specifically focusing on the B impact assessment, but on the whole company. And a lot of things that we improve in the company also have an effect on the B impact assessment and our score. Yeah. So and we expect to become a B Corp in January. That's based on the expected waiting time of 5 months. So it could also be earlier or later. I hope earlier.
Can imagine, yeah. Has the as you mentioned like before, has the media attention from the summer and the bigger names like Nespresso and Rituals changed your perception of your B Corp or of the certification or your journey, or has that always?
No, it hasn't changed at all, actually, because I think that becoming a B Corp is still a big effort, especially for those multinationals. For a smaller company, it's way easier to change things within the organization. So I think it's actually a very good thing that those bigger companies also are joining the community, because the impact of a big company making those commitments is way bigger than all those startups, which is of course also a very good thing. But I think it's the ultimate goal of the B Corp certification, I think, is that eventually the B Corp certification won't exist anymore, because all companies work in the B Corp way. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. But of course I understand why Doppler is a bit critical on Evian, for instance, becoming B Corp. So I understand it, but I think at the end it's a very good thing, and the impact is they make a great impact. also the B Corp and community should encourage multinationals to become B Corp as well. I think that's very important because then you can make a really big impact.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely true. So with those, to be fair, I feel like those bigger names joining the B Corp community would be also a benefit for you as well, as you stand to join the community as well. And how do you think the B Corp community will affect your sales or partnerships?
Yeah, so of course, the like rituals joining the B Corp community, or for instance, Secret. I live in Rotterdam, and there's a Secret wallet company, a Dutch company. They have a brand store in Rotterdam, and it's based in the center of Rotterdam. And on their windows, there's they stated a very big, proud to be a B Corp. So. The companies like Rituals and also those actions from like Secret make the B Corp community far more known, of course, for consumers as well. And I think that's of course a good thing for us, because our whole business is actually focused on B Corp. And also, of course, new companies joining the B Corp community also gives us the opportunity to make new partnerships with those companies.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then do you also like how is your connection with B Lab themselves? Because I think that's a good opportunity to.
We have the marketing team of B Lab Benelux. We also we have contact with them, and they are very supportive. So they also ordered our boxes for all best for the world B Corps last summer. So we definitely maintain our contacts with them, and we also visited their office. That's of course very important. Yeah.
It's very cool. You actually visited their office. Well, I
In
don't believe
Amsterdam.
we are already at that step, and we are a B Corp. So
I think they're very. I think you're welcome for a coffee there. It's a very open office in Amsterdam.
Okay. Cool. Are there, Josephine, you maybe have an eye on the chat? I don't know if there are any more questions in the.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for now, do you have a question, Josephine?
I think I just, as you mentioned, the specifics of like you need to fulfill certain legal requirements. So that you're saying like you've already fulfilled a component, so to speak, of the B Corp certification process when you achieve, when you pay for the B Corp pending. What exactly does that look like? What are they looking for? Are they looking for you to have already put in place certain policies, or what does the legal requirements look like?
Yeah, so it's actually legal requirements very clear. Like, let me check quickly, because there I can send there's a link to page of the B Lab website where they very clearly explain per country what are the legal requirements. So if you're well, for Dutch companies, if you are a BV, then you need to add a few sentences to your statutes. What I already mentioned, that you not only want to create value for the shareholders, but also for all the other stakeholders. I think that's basically the legal requirement. So
Okay.
you, very clearly state that you not only create value for the shareholders, but also for the other stakeholders. That's basically what it is. But it's a pretty big change. Also, maybe also for smaller companies, because you it costs money to change your statutes, and it's so if you're not yet registered as an official company, I would recommend to when you start your company, immediately take into account those legal requirements, because you save a lot of money then. And but also for bigger companies, of course, they need to convince the majority of their shareholders to change those statutes. So it's a big commitment. That's also what I mean with the big effort for multinationals as well.
For sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I also thought it was super interesting what you said in terms of like the value added for B Corps in terms of also what they can learn and how the rest of the B Corp community like accepts the company and like wants to help them more maybe because they see they're in it and they're invested.
Yeah, I think it's way more useful. We're way better off if we all accept those companies. And what I at the beginning I said that the B Corp B Corp is very community focused. So if you have those bigger companies also in the community and also just are very open to help them, you can also help those multinationals improve instead of fighting against them, which is also sometimes a good thing, of course, to have a certain level of control. So making sure that you don't get these evil companies inside the B Corp community, because then, of course, I understand why some smaller companies are a bit critical, but I think it's at the end it's a good thing because the impact is way bigger.
Yeah, that makes sense. Super cool.
Yeah, so I have one. Of course, you talked about some advice during your presentation for startups or companies wanting to become a B Corp. Is there something that you, apart from those advices from your lessons learned, what is something that you should take in account, like really prior to becoming a B Corp or starting the process?
You mean for yourself, like preparing yourself for the process?
Yeah, no, as well. So as a company, you're looking into certain or in different sustainability certificates, and you come across B Corp. And is there something that you've learned now that you wish you knew prior before starting the process?
Well, actually, I don't know. No, I think I'm it's very different from other certificates, so because it's more of community that you join than the certificate. Of course, I can't deny that the certificate is also very useful to display as to prove that you're sustainable. Of course, almost all B Corps do that as well, but I think it's more about the community that you join. You should take that into account, that it's just very useful because it also creates a lot of business opportunities. It's not just that you get the certificate, it's there you will be welcomed into a community which creates a lot of new business opportunities. I don't think there really is I really have another answer to your question. I don't have things that I wish I would have knew before, actually.
Well, that's good to know. I guess because that's only a positive. Although, then, well, final question from my side: how are you trying to, well, let's say, spread the word about B Corp apart from obviously joining us in our webinar series? So something, because you said you had a lot of contact with B-Lab, maybe have some discussions with them and their marketing team how to spread the word of the B Corp community?
Well, yeah,
is there something that we should take in account or look for in the future?
Well, no, I think you can see BDeals as a marketing company for B Corp companies, actually, because our mission is to promote B Corp products through business kits. So that's I think that's how we carry out the word of B Corp and really emphasize the missions behind the products. So that's how we carry out the word of B Corp. I think that's what we mainly do. And I enjoy doing this, but it's actually, I think that we had some media attention, but this is like the first time that I'm advising on becoming a B Corp, which makes sense because we're not even a B Corp ourselves. So it would be strange as if I would walk around and like advise everyone like this is what you should do and this is what you not should do, because we're also still in the process. But I think it's of course very useful to for companies who aren't in the process yet to get a bit more understanding on how it works. But no, this is the first time that I'm doing a webinar or something like that. But I like it.
Sure. Well, maybe we'll see you in any future webinars then as well.
It would be nice.
If then there are no further questions, then I'd like to thank you very much, Floris, for today and your presentation.
You as well.
And again, we'll send an email to everyone who signed up for the Eventbrite, and you can find the webinar on our website. And also, upcoming webinar is the 18th, top of my head, and we'll have a discussion with Hero, still the workshop on that as well. So sign up for that webinar as well if you want to continue watching the series. And I wish you all a lovely day and a lovely weekend. And for the people go to the Amsterdam Dance event, have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right.
Bye.